What's up, everyone? Donning Nguyen here from Wolves of Investing. Welcome back to another episode. Today I'm going to be talking about a very important concept called invest in what you know. This is one of the most important rules I try to live by when it comes to long-term investing. And I'm going to show you how I use this rule in my M1 Finance portfolio. But before we get started, as always, I've got to give you guys my quick disclaimer.
I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Anything I discuss here is my own opinion and should only be used for informational purposes.
The concept invest in what you know was popularized by legendary investor Peter Lynch. Basically, in our everyday lives, there are products and services that we use on a regular basis that we know very well. For example, you may use an iPhone. iPhone is made by Apple, stock ticker AAPL. Because you use the iPhone, you know of its benefits. So you have a leg up on other investors who may not have an iPhone or use other Apple products. So Apple might be a stock that you want to research more and potentially add to your portfolio. It doesn't mean that you're going to go out and buy Apple stock, but what it does mean is that because you know about their products and services, you can make better investment decisions on Apple stock versus another stock for which you know nothing about their products and services. So I wanted to give you a little bit more of my take on this very important concept, which is not to just invest in what you know, but invest in what you like. For example, you may know a lot about cigarettes and tobacco companies. You yourself may smoke, or you may know others who smoke and use tobacco. But tobacco companies may go against your own core principles, values, and ethics. So it's probably best to just stay away from tobacco companies, even though they may make you a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, you're going to sleep a lot better at night. One last thing I wanted to add about invest in what you know is to stay away from conflicts of interest. For example, you may be a doctor at a hospital, and pharmaceutical companies may be marketing to you all the time, taking you out to fancy restaurants, treating you out to fancy dinners, in the hopes that you will prescribe their products to your patients. It could be a conflict of interest if you also own shares in those pharmaceutical companies in which you strike a deal with. So when it comes to conflicts of interest, you may lose your job, lose your license, or go to jail, or all three. To me, that's just not worth it. So if a stock purchase ever seems like it might be a conflict of interest, make sure you check with your HR department and an attorney. So I'm here on M1 Finance, and I'm just going to go through my portfolio and show you how I implement the concept of invest in what you know. So the first stock I'm going to talk about is ILMN. They make machines that are used at universities and research labs to help with genome sequencing. Although I've never used this tool before, I do understand the value it brings. I was a biochemistry major many years ago when I started college, so I understand how important tools like these are to help further scientific research and help develop drugs that save lives. Because of that, I feel like I have enough understanding about this company's products to invest in it. Next up is the Trade Desk. This is another product I haven't personally used, but I feel I understand it enough to invest in it. As a business owner, I advertise on Facebook and Google. And as a consumer, I use Facebook and Google and Gmail, and I'm constantly being shown ads that are targeted to me. Companies like the Trade Desk facilitate the buying of ads to target users. So it's definitely a company whose products and services I understand very well. Next up is PAYC. They make software called human capital management software, and they sell this software on a software as a service subscription model. This is another product I've never used, but a product I understand very well. As an employee, I know the importance of entering time, processing payroll, and other things like hiring employees. My company actually doesn't use Paycom. Paycom is a good example for me, of staying clear of conflicts of interest. At the company I work, I could potentially be involved in decision-making on whether or not to purchase software like Paycom. Because my company doesn't use Paycom, I don't have to worry about violating any company policies or potentially breaking any laws. If, however, I found out that we were going to purchase their products, I would have to notify my company that I own the stock to make sure I'm not violating any company policies. Next up is Moody's. Moody's is another company I haven't personally used, but I am personally affected by all the time. Moody's is one of the 3 main credit rating agencies that rates the creditworthiness of companies. Just like you and I need a FICO score whenever we want to take out a loan or get a credit card, if any company wants to borrow money, they have to go through a company like Moody's first. So this is a company whose products and services I understand very well. Next, we have Republic Services. Republic Services is a service that I actually personally use. They service all of the trash and recycling in my entire city, so it's a company whose services I understand very well. Next up is Amazon. I've been using Amazon Prime for several years. I've been a member. I love their one-day shipping, and I use their Amazon Music, Amazon Kindle, their Audible audiobooks, and Amazon Video. So very clearly, this is the most prime example of invest in what you know. Next up is Floor & Decor Holdings. The house that I live in has hardwood floors that came from Floor & Decor Holdings. So I definitely understand the products that they sell and their business model. Next up is MasterCard. I have a MasterCard credit card in my wallet and I use it very frequently. And I've been using credit cards for many, many years, so I totally understand the product that MasterCard sells. Xilinx. Back many, many years ago, I was a computer engineering student, and we used Xilinx chips for some of our projects. I remember from college that their chips were very easy to use and very powerful. And because of that experience, I understand their products very well. And finally, I have Broadridge Financial Services. Every year I get tons of mail from ProxyVote for all of the mutual funds and stocks that I own. And Broadridge owns ProxyVote and processes vast amounts of investor communications for companies. So it's very easy for me to understand the products and services that Broadridge offers. So that's all for today. The key takeaways are: invest in what you know, invest in what you like, and stay clear of conflicts of interest. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and leave a comment in the comment box. Thank you all for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.